Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Tommy Lynch.
21MM191AW. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. There is probable cause in this case. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't call her on the phone, send a text message, send a message through friends or family. You can't have any contact with her, you understand?
May I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
ma'am? All my belongings at the house, they don't live there. That's my house. And so
What I'm going to order, hold on, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order that you maintain a separate residence. So if they're not at the house, you can stay at that house. But if they're at the house, you can't stay there.
okay.
You understand?
Could I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
If it's my house, I'm paying the rent and
I
they're
know.
not, how can I get kicked out of my own house?
I'm not kicking you out of your house, but I'm ordering that you're not allowed to be in the same residence as the victim or any of the witnesses in the case. So if they live there, you can't live there. So you can talk to your attorney about how to work on that, but you can't have any contact with the victim and you can't live in the same residence as the victim. You understand?
Ma'am, if you could just explain to them, everything is in my name. There's nothing in their name. The rent is my name, the lights and everything. I have to leave what's in my name.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. This morning? Yes. Okay. Can I have the attorney's approach really quickly? All right, thank you.
Your Honor, we would just ask for pretrial release. My client's on Social Security disability. His card is at the house. He tried to get his card when he was leaving with the police officers. They wouldn't let him get his card. They hit him. You can see the bruise on the side of his face when he was trying to get it in the back. It's okay. In the back of his head is split open. So we would just ask that you release him on pretrial release in this case, Your Honor, if possible.
Can you tell me why doesn't he qualify for pretrial release? All right. All right, Mr. Lynch, based on what your attorney said, at this time, I'm inclined to release you on pretrial release. What that means is you don't have to post a monetary bond, but it's not going to change your bond conditions. I'm still ordering that you maintain a separate residence from the victim and any witnesses in the case. You're not allowed to have any contact with them. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. I will allow one-time return with law enforcement to the residence to gather your belongings, and make sure that you stay in contact with your attorney right away, because they can file motions on your behalf, they can negotiate with the state of Florida on your behalf. But for now, if the victim is living at that residence, you can't live there. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. That's all I ask. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Wait, is this the 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the ones. They're just saying that we're gonna reset and once we get the bond.
I was like, the name looks familiar.
Yeah, they're on the list for today, but they're not
Okay. Please tell me, oh, is this? Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Good morning, thank you. If you could please connect to the headset and verify that she can hear you.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from?
Oh, she's sworn.
Oh, she is? Okay, thank you.
There is contact, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Tania Morales. Tania Morales.
Tania Morales.
You're here in 21 CF 362780, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Sir, do you wish to testify today?
A little English.
Wait. Do you want to make a statement today?
I don't English too much. A little English.
Can the interpreter disconnect from the headset and connect to the overhead? I believe we have a witness here who might need your assistance as well.
Okay.
Can you please ask him if he wants to make a statement here today?
Señor, ¿desea usted hacer una declaración aquí hoy, esta mañana?
No, yo no quiero cargo sobre ella. Yo lo que necesito es ayuda.
No, I don't want any charges filed. I just need help.
All right, first I need you to raise your right hand to be sworn.
Primero, necesito que levante la mano derecha para prestar el juramento.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Jura y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Sí.
Thank you.
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Diga su nombre para que conste en actas.
Herminio Rivera Ruiz.
Herminio Rivera Ruiz.
May I inquire?
Yes, the state may proceed.
¿Puedo hacerle algunas preguntas? Sí, la fiscalía puede proceder.
Sí.
Good morning, sir. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Morales?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Podría usted decir qué relación tiene con la señora Morales?
Ella vive conmigo durante 8 años. Somos pareja durante 8 años.
She has lived with me during the last 8 years. We have been a couple for 8 years.
Are you afraid of her?
¿Usted le teme?
No.
No.
If she were to be released from jail today, would you be afraid of her?
Si ella fuese puesta en libertad hoy, ¿usted le tendría miedo?
No.
No.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Algo similar a esto ha ocurrido en el pasado.
Cuando ella no bebe sus medicinas, se pone agresiva, las coge las botas. Yo necesito que me ayuden con eso.
When she doesn't take her medication, she gets aggressive. She throws her medication out. I need help with that.
Okay, so something like this has happened before when she's not on her medication?
Así que entonces algo similar sí ha ocurrido en el pasado cuando ella no se ha tomado los medicamentos.
Como 4 años atrás pasó, pero no pasó más nada.
Approximately 4 years ago. That happened approximately 4 years ago, but nothing has happened after that.
Okay. Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this were to ever occur in the future?
Señor, ¿estaría usted dispuesto a llamar al 911 si algo similar volviese a ocurrir?
Sí,
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
En este incidente, ¿tuvieron que ver drogas o alcohol?
droga.
Drugs.
And lastly, do you want to have contact with Miss Morales?
Y por último, señor, ¿usted desea tener contacto con la señora Morales?
Sí.
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Does the defense wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
Gracias. La defensa desea hacer algunas preguntas, ¿no, su señoría?
All right. I see that she qualifies for pretrial release. Does the state object?
Muy bien, veo que ella cumple con los requisitos para ser puesta bajo libertad provisional. ¿La fiscalía tiene alguna objeción?
No, Your Honor, due to the victim's statements here today.
No, su señoría, y esto debido a las declaraciones de la víctima.
Ma'am, at this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release.
Muy bien, señora, en estos momentos se le pondrá en libertad provisional.
I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you.
Se designa el abogado de oficio para que les represente.
Actually, I'd like her screened for mental health pretrial release. If she doesn't qualify for that, then regular pretrial release.
Muy bien, entonces yo prefiero que se le haga la evaluación para ver si cumple con los requisitos de la libertad provisional bajo el programa de salud mental. Si no cumple con los requisitos, entonces bajo el programa de libertad provisional regular.
The conditions of your release are you're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Do you understand?
Señora, como condición de su libertad se le prohíbe la tenencia de cualquier tipo de arma, armas de fuego y municiones. ¿Eso lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Sí.
Based on his testimony here today, I'm going to allow you to have contact with the victim, but it must be peaceful contact only. Do you understand?
Señora, por el testimonio que presentó la víctima aquí hoy, yo le permitiré que tengan contacto, pero el contacto tiene que ser pacífico. ¿Eso usted lo entiende?
Thank you. Sí, yes.
Thank you, yes.
What that means, ma'am, is you can't even raise your voice at your husband. Do you understand?
Señora, eso lo que significa es que usted no le puede levantar la voz a su esposo. ¿Eso lo entiende?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, yes.
I'll allow you to return to the residence.
Le permitiré regresar a la residencia.
You're not allowed to possess or consume illegal substances. You'll be subject to random drug screens.
Pero se le prohíbe la tenencia y el consumo de sustancias reguladas y se le harán pruebas aleatorias de alcohol y drogas.
Okay.
I will further order that you have to comply with any doctor's orders.
También le ordenaré que usted tiene que cumplir con las órdenes del médico.
Yes.
Yes.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for coming. Good luck.
Yuma.
Muy bien, gracias señora, gracias señor, que tengan buena suerte.
We'll go back to the headset, Madam Interpreter.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Marquise.
Marquise.
What's your full name?
Marquise Perez. Marquise Perez.
Marquise Perez.
21MM2194. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Sí.
Yes.
You can't contact her on social media, through the telephone, a friend or family. No contact at all. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. At this time, I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence. I will allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you may not coordinate that with the victim. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes.
Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Mario Hernández Ochoa.
Mario René Ochoa. Mario René Ochoa.
Mario René Ochoa.
Sí.
21 CT 2445AO, you're here charged with no valid driver's license. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Ms. George, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, we would just ask for a ROR in this case. I see he has no history listed here, and so I know he would be able to qualify for taking, I don't know if it's pretrial diversion or taking a class or something to get this taken care of.
Thank you.
As opposed to accepting the offer.
All right, what says the state?
Your Honor, since he has no history, state has no objection to an ROR. Just for the record, the offer was a withholding credit time served.
All right, at this time, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, but you understand you cannot drive in the state of Florida without a valid Florida driver's license, right?
Ok, está bien, muchas gracias por todo y bueno, soy consciente de los actos y de lo que hago.
I would advise, Madam.
Soy consciente de eso.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I would be very conscious from now on.
All right, good luck, sir.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Good job, Miss George, trying to catch it. Please tell me your name.
Cristian Giovanni Velasco López. Cristian Giovanni Velasco López. Giovanni Velasco López. Giovanni.
Christian Giovanni Rivera Lopez.
21 CT 69280, charged with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Counsel, your office represents him.
Your Honor, when I went down there, I didn't have any Spanish people to talk to him for me. However, in my notes, it stated he wanted to accept the offer, so I was going to have Madam Interpreter tell him the state's offer here today of an adjudication of guilt credit time served in order to resolve the case.
Sir, are you interested in accepting the state's offer today?
Sí.
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly, go ahead.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, you just told this court that you're interested in accepting the state's offer. Is that correct?
Sí.
Yes.
Do we have a plea form in Spanish that we can hand him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Please take a look at that form. I need you to read those rights. And we'll give you a pen to sign the form. All right, sir, did you have a chance to read that form, and do you understand the rights you're giving up by entering a plea today?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand we will not be having a jury trial. You'll enter a plea, and this court will sentence you today.
Sí.
Yes.
You understand if you're not a United States citizen, this plea could deport you?
Me deportarían por eso.
Would I be deported for this?
You can be, yes. If you're not a United States citizen.
Si no presento un juicio, sería deportado entonces.
And if I go to trial, will I be deported?
If you enter a plea admitting guilt or a no contest plea, or if you're found guilty by a jury, yes, you may be deported if you're not a United States citizen. So you don't have to enter a plea of guilty or no contest this morning. You can enter a plea of not guilty and meet with your attorney to talk about your options.
Your Honor, just for the record, he did plead no contest to another no valid in 2021, and it was an adjudication. Just so he is aware, he has already pled to one no valid as an adjudication. So I don't know what the impact this one would have on that prior one. This wouldn't be his only criminal charge.
Thank you. Would you like more time to discuss this with your attorney?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, counselor.
We'll enter a not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 85, pretrial conference, April 19th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
All right, good luck, sir. Is that all for Spanish? No. Okay. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. That's all we have this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Yurish Chotu.
21 CF 3658AO. You're here charged with domestic battery by strangulation. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I do find probable cause exists in this case. Your bond is $1,000. He qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection by the state?
No, Your Honor, as we don't have victim input here today.
At this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. With special conditions, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
No verbal, electronic, physical, face-to-face.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Person is non-existent. Doesn't
Correct.
exist.
Right. Yes, sir. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. I'll order that you maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. But as you just told the court, you can't contact her to gather those belongings. You understand that?
I understand that.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir. Oh, yes.
Got a question. So, in order for me to leave this facility, how does that happen? How does that?
You'll be released on pretrial release. You don't have to post a monetary bond.
Okay. No money.
Correct.
So basically, I'll just get my stuff and.
Right, they have to process you out.
Right.
But they'll do that, I think, today.
Is there a place where I can make a phone call to call my aunt?
Yes. Please tell me your name.
Herman Dunn, Herman Junior Dunn. Herman Dunn Junior.
Thank you. 21 CF 35890. You're here because a warrant was issued for your arrest, charging you with battery with a prior conviction, domestic violence, 2 counts of that. Another judge has already found probable cause. Your bond will be $5,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? I'll order that you must maintain a separate residence. Were you living together?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can't now. I'll allow you to return one time with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you may not contact the victim in order to arrange that visit. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You're also not allowed to have any contact with any of the witnesses in the case. You're not allowed to possess or consume alcoholic beverages or illegal substances, and you'll be subject to random drug screens. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You said I have 2
Yes. 2 counts.
on the same one? What I'm trying to find out.
Yes. It's 2 separate instances of battery involved in the same incident.
I signed this. Ma'am.
Please tell me your name.
TJ Flower.
21 CF 36360AO. You're here charged with aggravated assault and battery domestic violence. A warrant was issued for your arrest. Another judge has already found probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Ms. George, did you wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor, you had already said it. It was just weird because on the sheet that we have, it said with a deadly weapon, but the warrant says aggravated assault. That was the only.
It is with a deadly weapon, though.
No. No, Your Honor, it's just an aggravated assault. If you look at the warrant,
I'm going to go back to the affidavit. Hold on. I read this a while ago. Did the state review this?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the victim feared he had a gun on him. And he
Right.
was making comments about, I'm going to shoot you kind of
Right.
comments. And he's known to carry a gun. I think that is why it came in with a firearm. However, looking over the affidavit, I don't see any actual firearm brandished. So I think it is just an ag assault, as there was no firearm that was actually shown to the victim.
Wait, say that again, closer to the mic.
Sorry. I do believe it's just an aggravated assault, not an aggravated assault with a weapon, because I don't believe he ever brandished or showed a firearm to the victim.
All right, pull up the statute. What makes it aggravated?
I believe it was the threat. Let me see.
Threatening is aggravated assault, right?
Yeah.
Is assault, not aggravated. An aggravated assault is an assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill or with an intent to commit a felony. Whoever commits an aggravated assault shall be guilty of a felony of the 3rd degree. So it's either with a deadly weapon or with intent to commit a felony. That's what makes it an aggravated assault.
I would argue that it was with the intent to commit a felony, as the domestic battery forcibly pushed her head into the window, he pulled the wheel, he made her continue driving until they arrived at the destination. So
That's what I thought as well.
I believe the aggravated assault would be with the intent to commit a felony, not due to a firearm.
All right, aggravated assault and battery. Your bond will be $15,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? You have to answer out loud. You can't call her on the phone. You can't send a message through a friend or family member. You can't contact her on social media. No contact at all.
Wasn't doing it before.
You understand? You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, a firearm, or ammunition. You understand that? You can't carry a gun.
Don't talk about the facts.
You're not allowed to possess or consume illegal substances or alcohol. You'll be subject to random screens. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
Your Honor, did you a no return or did you use separate residences?
They weren't living together, right?
I don't believe so.
I live in Oakland, Florida.
I'm sorry?
Oh, man, I live in Oakland, Florida.
All right, then I'll order that you're not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of the victim. You're not allowed to return to her residence for any reason at all. Do you understand that?
I got a question. For the
Yes, sir.
count, that's 15,000, right?
Yes.
That's five grand.
I'm sorry?
Is that 5,000?
No, I made your bond $15,000 on count one based on the circumstances of the crime and your extensive violent criminal history. That's your bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Please tell me your name.
Mal Gerges.
A capias was issued for your arrest in 21 CF 3444AO for domestic battery by strangulation and battery domestic violence. The bonds authorized on that capias are $2,500 and $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. You must maintain a separate residence. You may not return to the scene of the offense. You may not possess or consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or any controlled substance without a valid prescription. You also are not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, a firearm, or ammunition. Additionally, in 2017 CF 9552AO, you're here for a violation of probation. There's no bond on that at this time. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You understand what no contact means, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can't call the victim on the phone or send a message through a friend or family member, no contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
I'm sorry, so my concern was, so I got this bond, but then there's another issue without a bond.
correct.
What happens there? I'm sorry,
So you can't bond out because on your violation of probation, there is no bond. So you can post the bond in the domestic case, but if you post it, you're still going to sit in jail on the violation of probation.
Okay, but so this is still hearsay, is that right? I didn't agree to anything, is that correct?
You don't agree to anything in this case.
Right.
There was probable cause for your arrest, so you've been arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
So
So what happens from here? Like, in respect to hearing about getting bonded out?
right, so your attorney can file a motion in front of the trial judge who is hearing the violation of probation
Ma'am.
that said you have no bond. So your attorney can file motions for you, and you'll have hearings in front of those judges.
Which is by schedule, it's just not even,
Right.
Call the number and they'll set the hearing.
pardon me?
Call the number on the green form.
Good luck. Please tell me your name. All right, in 2019 MM 4582, you're here for a capias that was issued for your arrest for failing to appear for trial on a charge of criminal mischief. The bond on that is $500, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. In case number 21-67700, a warrant was issued for your arrest for burglary of an occupied structure, battery domestic violence, and assault domestic violence. Another judge has already found probable cause in this case. 67700 is what I have.
I believe it's just 6770.
Oh, maybe that's AO, and it just has a 0?
I believe so.
Thank you, counselor.
Or it may just be 677 because there's 3 zeros that precede it.
In this case, your bond will be $10,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2, $100 on count 3. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Your Honor, can you tell us which, you said $10,000, can you tell?
The burglary count? Yes.
Don't talk about the fact.
Do you understand what no contact means?
Ma'am.
Tell me what it means.
No calling, texting, or third party, stuff like that.
Yes, sir. You can't return to her residence for any reason. Do you understand? I will order that you're not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of the victim or her residence. 3435 South Orange Avenue. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, a firearm or ammunition. Are there any other conditions the state would request on that count, on that case?
No, Your Honor.
In 20 CF 172480, a capias was issued for your arrest for written threats to kill or do bodily injury, aggravated stalking after an injunction and violation of a domestic violence injunction, and aggravated stalking with a credible threat. In that case, your bonds are $5,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, $1,000 on count 3, $500 on count 4. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. You're not allowed to return to the scene of the offense. And you're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm appointing the public defender's office in each of your cases. Good luck, sir. That came off. Please tell me your name.
Valerie Jackson.
Did you say Valerie?
Valerie Jackson.
21 CF 368080, you're here charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping, false imprisonment. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Sir, do you wish to testify?
No, ma'am, I'm just trying
If
to
you,
get-
wait, if you want to make a statement, I need you to raise your right hand to be sworn. Put your mask back on. We have to wear them. Can you swear him in?
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name for the record?
Kenora Jones.
State, you may inquire. The state has to ask you some questions, sir.
Good morning. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Jackson?
My girlfriend of almost 6 years.
Are you afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
If she were to be released from custody today, would you be afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
She takes the anxiety. She had anxiety and panic attacks sometimes. And if she don't take her medicine at times, it happens and she is bad because she been depressed over her son, the losing of her son. Her lawyer actually, that I paid for, went against her. And she just been down, depressed lately. And she kind of and she didn't hurt me at all. She just tore up the house. So and she just really was just going through it. So I'm not afraid of her. I try to help her, That's why I'm still with her after all this time,
Okay. Something like this has happened before?
Just when she don't like her medication or anything, it'll happen. So they upped her dose at one point to try to keep her anxiety and her panic attacks lower down and everything. But, and it happens at times.
Okay. Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this were to ever occur again?
I will. That's why I called them not to arrest. I told the police, I tried to let them know that I wasn't trying to arrest her. I just don't want no one to get her. I don't know what. I panicked because I had a job. She worked for me. I have a business and we had a long work day. So I had a drink or two, whatever, to relax myself if I could work that night. And I overreacted basically. I kind of had a few drinks. I kind of overreacted and panicked. But when I called him, I was like just trying to keep her from getting hurt or probably hurting herself. Cause she tore up the garage in our house, like snatched the cabinets and everything, just was tearing up everything and crying. So I was trying to stop her, like trying to slow her down, but
So you would be willing to call 911 in the
yes,
future?
I
or
will.
something?
I have did today. Yesterday, I mean,
Okay. And were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
on my behalf, where she
Not on
takes
hers?
wherever I don't know what they call, but she had prescriptions of
Okay.
some kind of pills that they supposed to keep her down, cause she been having depression issues and everything.
Understood. And then lastly, do you want to have contact with her?
But yes, ma'am.
That's
Thank
all I
you.
have,
Does
Madam.
the defense wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
Could she qualify for mental health pretrial release? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Thank you, sir, for your testimony today. Based on that, I'm going to have you screened for mental health pretrial release. If you qualify, I'll place you on that. With special conditions, I'm going to allow you to have contact with the victim, but it must be peaceful. Do you understand what that means? You have to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
No yelling, no throwing things, none of that. You understand that? And if you do that, you'll be arrested and come back for violating a condition of pretrial release. You understand? You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'm going to allow you to return to the residence based on the testimony here this morning. I'm further going to order that you must comply with any medications prescribed by a provider. So you understand that if you stop taking your medication, if it was prescribed by a doctor, you can be violated and sent right back here. You understand that?
Your Honor, you wanted her to screen for mental PTR. If she doesn't qualify, what?
If she doesn't, then your bond will be $5,000 on count one, $150 on count two, and $150 on count three with all of the same conditions. You understand? So she's going to be screened for a pretrial release program that's geared toward individuals with some mental health issues. If she qualifies for that, there's no monetary bond that has to be posted. But I don't know if she will qualify, and it can take several days. So I want you to be aware of that.
How do I keep up with that to make sure, how do I follow up with that?
I don't know the answer to that other than call the public defender's office because they represent her. So they
Yes.
should be able to update you on her case.
Okay.
But if she qualifies for that program, then she'll be released on that.
And can you mind if I ask a question? Like,
Yes.
what is what is the qualification requires? Like,
There's several things. Some of the things they have to ask her several questions, like does she have a safe place to go, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So when they get to her and they interview her, if she qualifies based on their interview questions, then she'll be placed in the program.
yes, okay.
Or you can also check the Orange County Jail website. It'll tell you if she's still in, and it'll show her bonds if she doesn't qualify. Then you'll know you'll have to post the bond.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe she's also on active probation.
I think she is. So a violation of probation might be coming. And in many cases, when warrants are issued for violating probation, those warrants have no bond. So if that happens, she'll be rearrested or won't be able to bond out. But I don't have that in front of me today. You understand?
Yes, I believe that's the case because they knew that she wasn't to be arrested on from trying to hurt me.
Right.
Because I can overtake her at any time, so it ain't that I'm scared of her or anything. That's why they know. So I guess it was just the tank. I don't know why they grabbed her actually, because she left in the hospital ambulance or something.
That's why I'm allowing her to return home, sir. It's based on your testimony here today.
Yes.
So we'll see if she qualifies for the program, and if she does, if she can be released back to the home.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Thank you for coming. Good luck, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Miguel Icona.
In 21 CF 3391AO, a warrant was issued for your arrest for hindering communication to a law enforcement officer, battery by strangulation, and battery. Another judge has already found probable cause. Your bond will be $5,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't call her on the phone, send a message through friends or family member, no contact at all. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Were you two living together?
I wasn't even around when this happened, ma'am. I was working
Don't
with my
talk
dad.
about that.
So I'm not asking you about the facts. What I'm asking you is if you live in the same residence.
No, ma'am. I'm
right.
homeless.
Then I'll order that you're not allowed to return to the residence for any reason. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck.
James McDuffie, mental health.
Thank you. (21 CF 368180). I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent him.
Your Honor, we will waive, however, on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, we were arguing there is no PC. The arrest affidavit states that he used the weapon to try to pry the door open, which is the attempted burglary. However, I don't see any threats made to the victim with the weapon.
What says the state?
Your Honor, I believe all that's in the affidavit is that he was continuously calling her and she kept telling him to not call her. At this point, I don't believe there is any written threats in the affidavit. If you are inclined to not find PC for that charge, they would ask for 24 hours. All I see is he keeps saying that he wanted to see her, and she keeps yelling at him, "No, go away," is the conversations that I see between the two.
So he's outside with a knife. Trying to pry the door open with the knife. What's the assault? He continuously calls her, attempts to get in.
And if you read, it just says that the knife was even found by where he was trying to pry the door open. He was using the knife to try to get inside the door, Your Honor.
Your Honor, for aggravated assault, for the assault, the defendant has to intentionally or unlawfully threaten either by word or act to do violence to the victim. I would just make the argument that prying her door open with a knife is an act that she said she felt threatened. She was telling him not to come in. She barricaded her children. She called 911. But that act would be enough of his intent to do violence, which would be enough for the aggravated assault.
Your Honor, I would just argue there is no act to do violence other than using the knife to pry the door open. There's no overt act. There's no jumping at her. He didn't threaten her. Literally, he's trying to open the door with a knife. That's all we have here.
But Counselor, what was his intention when he got in the house that he wasn't allowed to be in, that was locked?
Your Honor, I don't know his intention. The court doesn't know his intention.
Right.
When looking at the four corners of the arrest affidavit, it literally outlines that the knife was used as, which you have the attempted burglary of the occupied dwelling. However, there is no assault. And I don't know.
By
She was
word
not-
or act, right? So the threat can be by action. So is
But there-
breaking into a home with a knife not threatening?
And the act has to create in the mind of the victim a well-founded fear that violence is about to take place. I believe the victim did say that she was scared, and that's why she was barricading her children and calling 911 and yelling at him to go away. So I believe the act is was intentional and it was threatening to the victim and did create that well-founded fear. And I believe to the victim, it appeared that he did have the ability to carry out a threat since he was at the door trying to pry it open.
Your Honor, he never made it inside the house, and the only thing, she's outside and he's trying to get in. It doesn't say she was scared that he would break into the house and kill her with the knife. I don't see anything that says that she saw the knife. He was outside the door trying to get in. Her fear is that he was gonna come inside the house. There's no fear that he's gonna stab her.
But I think the fact that she's afraid he's coming into the house and he's armed with a weapon is an assault. Because what's his intention when he gets in the house? It created a well-founded fear in her mind that he was intending to do bodily harm when he got in the house. Why else would she be afraid that he's coming in?
Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Your Honor. However, she doesn't know that there's a weapon. It doesn't say that she knew there was a weapon. He's trying to break in. If I'm outside the door, I can't see what you're doing. She's barricaded inside. I don't see where she says, he had a knife, I was scared he was gonna use the knife on me. It literally says he was attempting to use the knife to break into the house.
Right, and I think she says an unknown object. She doesn't know what the object is.
Right.
But I don't think aggravated assault requires her to know which weapon he has. It's that he has an object in his hand and he's attempting to burglarize her home.
Right, but I'm arguing that there is no fear that he was gonna use a weapon to hurt her. My argument is that she was afraid that he was gonna break into the house.
Right, but what I'm asking you to follow that out to its logical conclusion. So if he breaks into the home and he's going to sit down on the couch and have a calm conversation with her, is that what we're assuming he would do?
Your Honor, I'm not assuming he would do anything. I'm just going off of the four corners of the arrest affidavit.
Right, but that's not, in the four corners, it says that he attempted to break into her home with an unknown object, which turns out to be a knife.
Right.
And she was afraid. Counselor, I'm gonna find probable cause. You guys can file a motion if you want to do something with it later, but I think there's sufficient probable cause in this case to establish the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling, and criminal mischief. The bond is $5,000 on count one, $5,000 on count two, and $100 on count three. He's not allowed to have any contact with the victim. He's not allowed to return to the residence for any reason, possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'll order that he must comply with any physician's orders and take any meds as prescribed. He's not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of the victim or her residence. Please tell me your name.
Sabian Pro.
21MM192AW, you're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, you can't send a message through a friend or family member. You can't send a message on your phone or using social media. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You're not allowed to return to this residence. Were you living there? Sir,
Yes.
were you living there?
Yeah, I was.
All right, you can't now. So I'll order that you maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. In 19-15359, you're here for a violation of probation. There's no bond on that, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Stephon Solomon.
All right, so I think you're here today for the other charges that were pending yesterday. There's a warrant for your arrest out of Polk County for violating probation on a charge of battery, petty theft, and resisting an officer without violence. There is no bond authorized, and we'll notify Polk County that you're here.
I got a bond on that yesterday, ma'am.
On that case,
I'm here for a violation.
you're here for two cases today.
Traffic violation. I got a warrant for the arrest. I thought that was all together. I got the paperwork right here, and I got it.
Okay, so let me finish what I have to do, and then you can tell me what you think. 21 CF 3682, you're here charged with false imprisonment, dating violence, battery by strangulation, domestic, 1, 2, 3 counts.
Right. I didn't know nothing about that. I don't even know what that's about.
All right,
All
all right,
Yeah.
stop. Let me have the state put the factual basis on the record.
On or about March 1st of 2021, law enforcement arrived to the Quality Inn located in Orlando, Florida, and met with Isabel Dialoche. She informed the law enforcement that herself and Mr. Stephen Solomon started arguing. She returned to the room to relax, and he made slick comments. She got upset. She tried to walk away. When she got up and walked back to the bathroom, she was followed by Mr. Solomon. Mr. Solomon pushed her up against the wall and strangled her. She slipped and fell into the tub, and Mr. Solomon let go. She tried to walk away. He grabbed her from behind and strangled her again. He then pushed her into the bed, and the bed moved, which caused him to fall into the floor. Isabel stated while he was strangling her, she was grasping for air and spit up twice. Stephen then blocked her from leaving and pushed her back, and while doing so, strangled her back into the room. Isabel had a minor scratch on her neck or throat and a broken fingernail. All events occurred in Orange County, Florida.
So that's the events that led to this arrest. Based on the probable cause affidavit, there is probable cause in this case. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
What was the date of that?
March 1st,
March 1st?
2021.
What's the day of the week?
I'm sorry?
I was working that day. I don't know nothing about this. This is a woman that's trying to mess me up. I don't know nothing about this strangulation, this event. Like I really, it's crazy. I'm here for a traffic violation, and my people already came and bonded me out. Like I'm gonna buy a $250 bond. They already came. I talked to them.
All right, sir.
My boss could confirm, because all I do is work and train. My boss could confirm me working that day. If it was most likely sound like a weekend.
All right, sir. That's something you're going to have to do with the trial court with your attorney. So the VOP warrant that you have out of Polk County has no bond. But like I said, we'll notify them that you're
No
here.
bond?
The VOP warrant out of Polk County.
Violation of probation?
Yes. The first one I told you about this morning. So I've appointed the public defender's office and we'll notify them that you're here. This other charge is a new law violation here in Orange County. Your bond will be $5,000 on count 1, $150 on counts 2, 3, and 4. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes. Okay. So what am I being charged with? 2 things you charged me with? The violation of probation?
False imprisonment,
False- I don't-
3 counts of battery by strangulation.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
False imprisonment is, the allegation is that you wouldn't let her out of the hotel room. She kept trying to leave and you kept holding her in the hotel room.
It's a lie. This has to be proven. I have nothing to do with this thing.
Sir, I'm telling you for today, there is probable cause for your arrest. So these are your bond conditions. I need to make sure that you hear me.
I hear you.
You can't have any contact with her. You understand what that means?
In months. I don't talk to her.
So that won't be a problem because you're not going to talk to her in jail or when you get released, right?
Yes.
You're not allowed to have a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You're not allowed to return to Quality Inn at 626 Lee Road for any reason. Do you understand?
I understand.
Do you have any belongings there?
Where?
At Quality Inn?
No, ma'am. No.
All right.
I have nothing there. I haven't been there. I've just been working.
All right.
This is word of mouth.
Are there any other, I'll order that you're not allowed to, were you two living together?
No.
All right.
I don't
So
understand, ma'am. I don't understand what's going on.
you're not allowed to return to her residence for any reason.
I've never been her resident. She doesn't have a house.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
I don't have no say in this matter, like no proof of anything. Just somebody say something and then I'm.
No, today's hearing is to advise you of the charges against you and what your bond is. This is not an evidentiary hearing.
There's no proof I was even there.
So there is probable cause to believe you committed those offenses. I already made that determination. But if you want to file a motion through your attorney in front of the trial court, you can do that. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Yes,
What's your name?
Alexander Tomaselli.
21 MM 218680, you're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause in this case. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond will be $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to return to this residence. Do you have belongings there?
No, ma'am.
All right. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Are there any other conditions the state would request in that case?
No, Your Honor.
As to 21 CF 368380, you're charged with battery on law enforcement officer and resisting with violence. There is also probable cause in this case, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond will be $2,500 on count one, $150 on count two. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. As to your 4 out on bond cases, I'm revoking your bonds at this time in all 4 cases. 21 CF 2014, 21 CT 1327, 21 CT 1326, 21 CT 1122. So your attorneys will have to file motions in front of the trial judges. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Adam Turner.
21 CF 363980, you're here charged with domestic battery by strangulation. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Your bond is $2,500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't contact through social media, a friend or family, no contact. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Were you living together?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'll order that you're not allowed to return to the Quality Inn at 8300 Jamaican Court. And I'll order that you're not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of her residence. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir. $2,500.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name. 21 MM 217780, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Ma'am, do you wish to testify?
It's my son.
Do you want to speak to the court today?
Yeah, I just want to say that.
Wait, I need you to raise your right hand to be sworn.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Juliet Liberd.
Ma'am, do you mind spelling your last name, please?
Liburt.
State you may inquire.
Good morning. You stated that you are Mr. Dufu's mother?
Yes.
Okay. And are you afraid of him?
No.
And what would you like to tell the court this morning?
I just flew in from New Jersey. I'm very emotional when I get a call that my son is arrested. And I'm just here to support my son because he has no one else here in Orlando.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So you don't live here in Orlando?
No. I live in New Jersey.
All right. I see that he qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection by the state?
No, Your Honor, as we don't have victim input here today.
At this time, sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't send a message through a friend or family member, social media, call or no contact at all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Were you two living together?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't at this time. I'll order that you maintain a separate residence. I'll allow you to return one time with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you can't coordinate that through her, you understand? You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'll order that you comply with any plan set in place by DCF. You're not allowed to have any unsupervised contact with the minor children. You understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir. Thank you for coming, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Is there going to be a visitation riser so for city kids? Because I
said he can't have unsupervised contact. So, yes,
Can I say something too?
he can set up supervised contact through GCF.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can say anything you want, but it's being recorded and can be used against you later.
Thank you.
In Your Honor,
Yes.
his alternate address is with his mom. Would it be okay if he, since she lives out of state, would it be okay if he returns to?
Yes.
Goes to New Jersey? Okay.
Yes, so I'll allow him to return to New Jersey with you if that's what you decide to do.
I take him for already a while to get everything cleared. Yes.
All right, sir, was there anything that you wanted to say after conversing with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good luck. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Dupre, Jorge, his behavior.
21MM40AE. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent him.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
A warrant was issued for his arrest for battery, domestic violence. The bond will be $1,000, no contact with the victim. He's not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'll order that he must comply with any orders by his provider and take any medications as prescribed. And he'll have to maintain a separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement to gather belongings. Please tell me your name.
Donald Wayne.
21MM2180AO, you're here charged with battery, domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Can I have him screened for mental health pretrial release? All right, I'd like to have him screened for mental health pretrial release. If he doesn't qualify, I'll place you on pretrial release. In either case, your conditions are you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand that? You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'll order that you maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you can't coordinate that through the victim. You understand? Yes, sir.
The house is only my house. There's nobody else lives there. It's my house.
So what I'm ordering is that you maintain a separate residence. So if the victim is living at the house, I can't order the victim to leave.
No, ma'am.
Listen to what I'm saying. I understand you're telling me the victim doesn't live there. So if that's the case, then you can live there. But this court doesn't have jurisdiction over the victim. I only have jurisdiction over you. So I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence. I'm not telling you it can't be there. If he doesn't live there, you can live there.
Only me that lives there.
All right. I'm going to order that you comply with any orders by a provider and take any prescriptions as prescribed by a doctor. So you understand? All right. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Michelle McKenzie.
21MM2191AO. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Sir, do you wish to testify?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name for the record?
Jamie Roberto White, Jr.,
Spell your last name, please.
WHITE.
State.
Good morning. Can you please state your relationship to Miss McKenzie?
She's the mother of my children.
Are you afraid of her?
Yes,
Has anything like this ever happened before?
yes, I had a prior injunction that was dropped. But at that time, she had stalked me and damaged property, vehicles in front of my house before.
Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this were to ever occur in the future?
Yes, the way I did yesterday.
And were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
Say again, ma'am?
Were drugs or alcohol involved?
No, ma'am.
And do you want to have contact with Miss McKenzie?
No, not at this time. And I have the children as well at the moment.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Does the defense wish to inquire? No, Your Honor. All right. Thank you, sir. I didn't, wait, sir, can you come back? I'm sorry. I didn't write this down. Did you say drugs or alcohol were not involved?
No, ma'am. No alcohol or drugs.
Okay, thank you.
No weapons.
Free to go?
All right, I see that she qualifies for pretrial release. Does the state object to that?
Yes, Your Honor, given the victim's input here today, he does fear, and he is afraid of her, and they did have an injunction. So state would object to PTR.
All right, based on the state's objection, I'm going to set your monetary bond at $500, but I'm also going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. At this time, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't send a message through a friend or family member, social media, no contact at all. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Who lives at 2500 North Forsyth Road?
No, that's the address of my storage unit where the incident happened. She followed me there from the gym yesterday when she was asked to leave, and then that's when she assaulted me.
All right, you're not allowed to return to that address, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
For any reason.
Yes, ma'am.
You're also not allowed to be at the victim's residence for any reason, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll order you're not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of the victim. Where are the children now?
They're currently at my parents' house.
May I speak, please?
Yes, ma'am.
It's my custodial time right now. Due to the incident, the cops let him take the children. I was wondering if the cops said that I could be escorted to pick them back up. Is that a possibility? They said that I'd have to have an officer with me.
We currently have a court order that's 50-50.
Okay, were
Due
the
to
children
incident.
present for this incident?
Yeah, no, I mean, just.
That's incorrect, ma'am. I have 76%, he has 33%.
So I'm not a family law judge. I can't speak into the custody.
But today's my custody day, like it's my time sharing.
All right, the children were not present for this incident?
No, ma'am.
Then I'm not going to place any bond conditions or pretrial release conditions on your contact with the children. How do you exchange the children?
It's supposed to be, well, right now he's not supposed to have them, but when.
No, I mean when you do.
He's supposed to drop them off at school, but in this instance, it's to meet at the resident's house.
At your house?
Or his house. But Mr. White is currently not living where our court orders.
Okay, this is not what happened, ma'am.
I
understand. This is, we could resolve that in family.
I just don't know.
That's not relevant for today. What's
Exactly,
relevant is.
I'm afraid, again, like I said, I was at the gym. I walked outside of the gym. She was following me when she was told to stop. I took the children based on the fact that it was the proper thing to do. I do have custodial rights to them. And I was advised yesterday that was my custodial time. If she needed to take that up when she was released, because we didn't know how long she would be in here, then she would have to get with her attorneys, what I was told, and they can take that up with family court later on.
No,
In the
ma'am, that's
meantime,
not
I
what
will
I was
remain with the
Okay,
children.
stop. I'm not going to get involved in your custody arrangement.
It's my time
Okay, ma'am, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not involved in your custody arrangement. I'm just trying to figure out what your condition is going to be on pretrial release. So at this time, here's what I'm going to order.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't have any contact with him, even as it relates to the children. So in order to pick your children up, if you have to exchange your children, that's going to have to be done through a third party. Do you have a grandparent
Yes, ma'am.
who's involved?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so any of that, you can have contact with the grandparent as it relates to the children only. But
Okay.
you can't send a message to him through that grandparent,
So
other than about the children.
can I stay without the certain fee, take my mother, who is the grandmother, and with the officer to pick up my children?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That one time, you can do that.
ma'am.
But then after that, you can't be within 1,000 feet of him or his residence. You
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you understand what I
I
ordered?
totally understand.
Okay. All right, good luck, ma'am. Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you,
sir.
ma'am.
Good luck. Please. Please tell me your name.
Dimitri Prudhomme.
21MM219580, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. He qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection by the state?
No, Your Honor, as we don't have victim input here today.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you two living in the same home?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to order at this time you must maintain a separate residence. So that means if he lives there, you can't. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Tyrone Thompson.
21MM218380, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Your bond, well, he qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection by the state?
No, Your Honor, as we don't have victim input here today. We just asked for no weapons since there was an allegation of a weapon.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim or any witnesses in this case. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Not through social media. You can't call on the phone, send a message through a friend, nothing.
Right.
You understand?
Ma'am.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Where did this take place?
336 Victor Ave, Reeves Terrace.
Where is that? Do you live there? Do they live there?
Well, we all live there, but I have a job, so I can get me a hotel.
So you were living in the same residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to order that you maintain a separate one, so at this time, you can't live there.
I can get me a hotel.
All right. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but don't coordinate that through the victim.
Yes, ma'am.
Coordinate through law enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, I believe we have to recall one. A victim apparently was here.
Is this Jorge Dupree?
Yes.
All right. This is case number 21MM40AE. Ma'am, do you wish to testify this morning?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record?
Damaris Morales.
I need the order for this one. All right, state you may inquire.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Dupre?
Mother.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm his mother.
Are you afraid of him?
I am not.
Would you be afraid if he was released from jail today?
No, ma'am.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
It has, yes.
Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this ever occurred in the future?
Of course, yes.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
No, ma'am.
And do you want to have contact with your son?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. I already ordered no contact in this case, and then he has to maintain a separate residence.
Ma'am, I'm asking if you can drop the charges.
No, I don't do that. The court doesn't have jurisdiction. You'll have to contact the state attorney's office because this is the state of Florida versus Jorge Dupree. So they're prosecuting this case. They're the only ones who can drop it.
Yeah, Your Honor, she wants contact with her son. She states this is her son. He has nowhere else to go. And if you look at the arrest affidavit, it states that it looks like he has some mental health issues. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So we would just ask that you issue a no hostile contact, being that that is his mother.
Your Honor, also in the affidavit, on scene, Ms. Morales apparently told law enforcement that she was afraid and that she did not want him returning to the house. And that there have been altercations between the two before. So at this time, state is asking you to maintain the no contact.
Ma'am, how old is your son?
He's 30 years old, and the reason he was being aggressive was because he wasn't agreeing to take his medications. But he saw his psychiatric doctor, they changed his prescription, and he's been a saint. And it's why I called law enforcement last night and said, hey, he has a warrant, he's been home, and he was accused of, I had called because he was aggressive, and at the time when they called the officer, he ran. So they issue a warrant. So it's been like about a week or two since. So I told him, look, I changed his prescription. The doctor changed his prescription. He's been doing great. He's been cooperating, but we need to know what to do because currently he has a warrant and I don't know what to do. So they said, well, he has to turn in. So we did turn him in last night just to let you know that he agreed to see his psychiatric doctor, change his prescription, and he's been doing great since the prescription has been changed.
All right, ma'am, I appreciate that information.
And Your Honor,
At this time, I'm going to have him screened for mental health pretrial release. If he qualifies for that, mental health pretrial release, then all of the same conditions will apply, except I'm going to modify it to peaceful contact, so he's not allowed to have any hostile or violent contact with you. I will allow him to return to the residence. That is what you want, right?
Yes, ma'am. He's been taking his medications, and I already told him if he does not comply, that I would have to Baker Act him or call an officer. And ever since he complied and the doctor changed his medication, he's been doing great. And it's why we called the officer last night and say, hey, he has a pending warrant, but he's been doing well. What can we do? And they said he has to turn himself in, so.
He does with a warrant. So what I did was I'm having him screened for mental health pretrial release. I ordered that he has to follow the orders of his prescriber. So if he has medications prescribed, that's part of his conditions of pretrial release. It can take a few days to screen them for mental health pretrial release. So I can't tell you when he'll be released, but he doesn't have to post a monetary bond to be placed on mental health pretrial release. So that's my order at this time, and he'll be allowed to have contact with you and return to the residence, but he still can't have a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition.
Oh, no, I don't have that, none of that at home.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
After the mental health trial,
Pretrial release.
is that to find out if he's doing okay mentally?
What it is it's a similar to a probation program in lieu of monetary bond. So he'll be released and he'll have a caseworker that he has to work with while he's released on this charge. And then you can call the state attorney's office because that's who's prosecuting him.
Can I tell you that his father wants to be in custody, agreed to take him and take care of him, and I had paid tickets to send him off to his father for Friday.
Where?
To out of state, out to Puerto Rico, because I can't handle him anymore.
I'll allow him to go to Puerto Rico, if that's possible. So they're going to screen him for this program. If for some reason he doesn't qualify, his bond is $1,000. But then the same conditions, the new conditions, I'll allow him to have contact with her and return to the residence. So if he qualifies for the program, then he'll be released on that program. But I'll allow him to go to Puerto Rico and live with his dad.
Yes, that would help me a lot because I already have a second child that has issues and he's been doing great with me. And the father finally came through and said he's willing to help me with one of them and take George.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you again.
Please tell me your name.
Luciano Bruns. Last name is Bruns.
A capias was issued for your arrest in 2019 CT 866380 for failing to appear for a status hearing on a charge of expired driver's license more than 6 months. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Your Honor, the state was offering to withhold credit time served. However, my client has already posted bond and he wants to meet with his private attorney in order to, you have a private attorney, right?
All right, so you have an attorney, sir? You have to answer out loud. You have to answer me out loud.
Yes, I have.
All right, then I'm not going to appoint the public defender's office, and I'm not taking any action on his out-on-bond case because of the dates. Good luck, sir.
So you're staying the bond?
Yes. Please tell me your name. 21 CT 244480, you're here charged with driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office.
Your Honor, we're going to ask for an ROR in this case. The state was making an offer, but we're going to ask for an ROR so my client can resolve it later.
What says the state?
Your Honor, I don't believe she has any history, so the state has no objection to an ROR.
At this time, I'll release you on your own recognizance. Ma'am, you understand you can't drive without a valid Florida driver's license.
I understand that.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Jeremiah
Jeremiah what?
Ramos, Your Honor.
21 CT 286AA, you're here charged with driving under the influence. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. There is probable cause in this case. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to possess or consume alcoholic beverages or illegal substances. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol screens. You can't drive without a valid Florida driver's license. Do you understand? You have to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir.
Raymond.
Timothy Clark. Is that who you are?
What about Stephanie Torres Perez?
Release, pretrial release.
All right. And I'm sorry, you said Timothy Clark what? 21 CT 279AE. Counselor, I'm going to appoint your office. It's a driving while license suspended charge.
Yes, Your Honor, we'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 85, pretrial conference, April 19th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
Please tell me your name.
Travis Terrell Bridges.
21 MM 133380. You're here charged with petty theft and criminal mischief. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 84, pretrial conference, April 12th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4B.
Good luck.
Do you mind repeating for Mr. Clark?
Division 85, pretrial conference, April 19th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
Thank you.
Reginald Taylor is medical.
21 MM 1415, represented by your office counselor.
We'll waive, Your Honor, and enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 50, pretrial conference, May 5th at 1:30, courtroom 7C.
Please tell me your name.
Bobby Turk.
21 CO 29880. Counselor, you represent him.
Yes, Your Honor. State's offering withhold adjudication, credit time served, court costs, and a $10 filing fee. I did go over the offer with my client and the rights he would be giving up. I gave him some time to think about if he wanted to accept the state's offer here today.
Yes, ma'am.
He wants to accept the state's offer and enter a plea of not guilty.
So if he enters a plea of not guilty,
Sorry, enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I assumed that's what you meant, but I just thought we should clarify that. Sir, I need you to raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your attorney told the court that you want to enter a plea today. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
You had the opportunity to review the
Yes.
offer with your attorney and the rights you're giving up.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for the court about those rights?
No, ma'am.
You understand that if you're on probation, this plea could violate that probation?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if you're not a United States citizen, this plea could subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, how do you wish to plead to soliciting without a permit?
No contest. Ma'am, I got a question.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And this is fine. It can be recorded. I caught this soliciting charge, okay? I had court March 10th. I went to the courthouse, man. I went to 3 different spots. A lady on a computer told me that I didn't have court that day. And to prove that I was there, I got my marriage license. It could be checked. I got arrested Friday. I came to court Saturday. A visiting Osceola judge revoked my bond for these 2019 charges. And I was at the courthouse, ma'am. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was at the courthouse. If you would, you worked at the courthouse, you could see that I was at the courthouse because I got my marriage license that day at 8:30 in the morning.
So you're not being charged with anything in connection with failing to appear?
But I got my bond revoked because of that.
I understand.
Well, ma'am, I know that you're a judge, and I know that I'm here for the soliciting. Could you please take consideration, ma'am, and give me my bonds back? Because this is a September of 2019 charge. Nothing's been done with it. And I'm gonna be sitting in jail for months and months and months and months with this corona stuff.
No, sir. This is a 21 case.
No,
Your
my
Honor.
bonds were revoked. It's September 2019.
I don't have that case in front of this court. I only have a soliciting case with a case number 2021. Can the state advise the date this incident allegedly occurred?
Yes, Your Honor. Regarding, I believe he's talking of, like, he does have 19 cases. Neither of them are still open. One was declined to prosecute, and 1 year he pled no contest on, so I don't have any other 19 cases in my system. But this case, he received a notice to appear in this case, February 17th of 2021.
Yeah, and I had court March 10th.
Yes, and he was
I was
supposed
at the
to
courthouse. I got my marriage
appear.
license. I paid $86.
Sir, I believe you, but you're not, if you enter a plea today, you're going to enter a plea of no contest to the charge of soliciting without a permit. No other charges. This is not a 19 case, it's a 21 case.
But the 21 case revoked the 19 case.
At this time, I can't do anything with the 19 case.
So I don't get a bond. I have to stay in.
No, if you,
I have no bond.
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. He has a 2019 CF case that was revoked on the 27th for possession of a controlled substance, paraphernalia, and trespass, refusal to leave.
Okay.
I believe that's what he's referring to.
Yes,
I see.
Those were revoked because of this notice to appear, and I was at the courthouse. You can check, ma'am, I was there.
I can't change that. Another judge has already revoked your bond, but the trial judge can change that. So what your attorney can do is file a motion in front of the trial judge and ask them to give you your bond back.
I don't even know who attorney. I don't know anything.
Ms. George is the representative today from the Public Defender's Office. She can send a message to her colleagues at the Public Defender's Office. So you don't have to enter a plea of no contest today to this charge if you don't want to.
No, I'll resolve this case today. Yes, ma'am.
He wanted you to give him a bond on the
I see.
other cases. That's what the issue.
Right.
But I already
I
explained.
can't do that. So you understand, if you resolve this case today, I will sentence you to credit time served, but I can't give your bonds back in the 2019 case. You have to get that back from the trial judge.
I don't have a trial judge.
You do. So this is assigned to a judge's docket, and you have an attorney, and your attorney can file a motion in front of that judge to ask for those bonds to be reinstated. So that won't happen today. I want to make sure you understand, if you enter a plea today, that bond situation is not going to be changed today.
I understand that, ma'am. I just wanted to see if I could just talk to you a little bit.
Right, I can't do that.
Okay.
So do you still want to enter this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than the state's offer to resolve this?
Absolutely not.
All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead to soliciting without a permit?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I will withhold adjudication, give you credit for, anybody? 6 days in jail. I'll order that you pay court costs. I have no choice about that, but I'll give you a year to pay it along with a $10 filing fee.
Is that also the failure to appear goes away too?
On this charge, yes. If there's a failure to appear on any other cases, no.
No.
But on this one, yes, it's resolved today.
Ma'am?
Just so he knows, his trial judge is Judge Roach in Division 19 on the felony case.
In Osceola.
Did you hear that, sir?
Is it in Osceola or
Orange.
Orange?
Huh? What'd she say?
Your judges.
How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ronald Earl Lockett?
Mr. Lockett, you're here in 2021 MM2182AO on a charge of trespass after warning. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Say, did you extend an offer to Mr. Lockett?
Yes, Your Honor, an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to Aldi.
All right, Mr. Lockett, did you review a plea form?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you're here in 2021 MM2182AO on charge of trespass after warning. As a first-degree misdemeanor, is punishable by 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to this case?
Guilty.
Yes, about entering, you understand they're waiving all the rights on that form that's in front of you if you don't want to enter a plea of guilty.
Sir.
All right, sir, I did review the charging affidavit. I did find a factual basis for entering your plea. I accept your plea of guilty. Find the plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court cost of prosecution in this case of $273. I'll reduce those costs of judgment. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Linda Smith, mental health, Your Honor.
Oh, wait a second. All right, this is Linda Smith, 2021 MM2179AO. Going to appoint a public defender to represent her.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to, I did find probable cause for her arrest. I'm going to release her on mental health pretrial release in this case. If she does not qualify for mental health pretrial release, she can be released on her own recognizance
with conditions that she not return to the scene of the location and that she keep in contact with the public defender and keep up with all her court dates. It's gonna be the other way on the order, mental health PTR or RR.
And then I put the verbiage.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's okay with
Yes.
how it reads. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in several matters. The first one is 2019 CF 16894AO. In that case, that charge, you're being charged with failure to appear. The judge signing your failure to appear warrant set your bond at $0. You're also here in 2021 CF 2951AO on charge of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, discharge causing serious bodily injury, home invasion, robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery with a firearm with a discharge, battery of a dwelling with a solid battery therein with a firearm, and grand theft from a dwelling of $100 or more. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. State what you asked me to do is counts 1, 2, and 3. Let me count 1, 2, and 4, I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. Asked to count 1, 2, and 4, given the nature of the charges, state's asking that you hold a no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right, Ms. George.
Reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing, Your Honor, no argument.
All right, sir, as to counts 1, 2, and 4, the court is going to hold you at no bond as to those counts. As to counts 3, I'm going to set your bond amount of $25,000. And count 5, I'm going to set your bond amount of $2,000. Condition of your bonds in all your cases that you not have any contact with any victims or witnesses or victims' families, not have any contact with any co-defendants in this case. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to return to the scene of this incident. We'll get you on to your division judge to get an appropriate Arthur hearing. Have a great day, sir. Well, is there an update for Mr. Rivera Gonzalez?
He's mental health, Your Honor.
I didn't know there was an update. Because he said it was an interview, so I just want to know if there was an update. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Rivera Gonzalez, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him in 2021 CF 3671AO.
Will waive, Your Honor.
He has any, this was a real question. Do you have any prior failures to appear in this update? He has a lot of history out of state, but I was trying to figure out if he had any failures to appear that we know of. He has outstanding warrants, so never mind, take that back. He does have. So take that back. All right, I'm going to release Mr. Rivera Gonzalez on mental health pretrial release in this case. If he does not qualify, I'm going to set his bonds in his case in the amount of $500 on count 1, $500 on count 2, $500 on count 3, and $100 on count 4. Condition that he not return to the scene of the location, have no contact with any victims or witnesses. All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Keith Young, sir.
Mr. Young, you're here in 2021 CF 3656AO on charge of grand theft and robbery. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to say your bonds are set in the amount of $2,500 and $5,000. Condition that you not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses in this case. You may not return to the scene of this location. I have a note here that you're on federal probation, so the U.S. government may take you into custody before you can bond out. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, interpreter, Your Honor.
Well, let's try it.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter, already previously sworn.
Mr. Arroyo, this is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. I have a defendant with the headsets on. Can you see if we can make a connection?
Yes, Your Honor. Connection is established.
Sir, can you tell me your name?
Néstor Villanueva Godina.
I'm sorry, I'm getting an echo. Can the deputy please help me and move one of the mics away from him?
Well, he has to use the one on the headset then.
I think we need to do the other one. The headset mic, the volume is so low I can't catch it. So if you could push that one back and just put the other one in front of it, maybe that might help.
Yep, bring that closer to him.
Néstor Villanueva Godina. Néstor Villanueva Godina.
Nestor Villanueva Godinez.
Mr. Gondina, you're here in 2021 CF 3670AO on a charge of sexual battery. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $100,000. Conditional your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case or the victim's family. You may not return to the scene. You may return one time to the residence. Maintain separate residence. I'll give you one time return to the residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. So you're asking for any other, and no unsupervised contact with any child under the age of 18 years old. So you have any other requests?
No, Your Honor.
All right, have a great day, sir. Was the rest of these interpreters as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Roberto Viera Santana. Roberto Viera Santana.
Roberto Viera Santana.
Mr. Viera Santana, you're here in 2021 CF 3602 AO on a charge of trafficking in fentanyl of 4 grams or more. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to stay your bond in this case in the amount of $100,000. Condition of your bond is that you not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Nestor Sanchez. Nestor Sanchez.
Cover your face.
The micrófono.
Cover your face. You just got to speak up and speak clear. Slow down.
La pregunta, ¿cuál era?
What was the question?
What is your name? Say it slowly so the interpreter can understand what you're saying.
Nestor Sanchez.
Nelson Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, you're here in 2021 MM2187AO on a charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to ask the state if they have an offer to resolve your case today.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer to resolve is an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to Lake Eola.
Mr. Sanchez, do you want to accept the state's offer of adjudication of guilt, credit time served?
No.
No.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I want to stay your bond in this case in the amount of $500. Condition of your bond not allowed to return to the scene of the location. Have a great day, sir.
That's it.
All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. I think that was my last case.
You're welcome. The interpreter will disconnect.
Do we not have Mr. Diaz Morales?
He no longer needs an interpreter.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Mr. Baptiste?
Ivan here. And Mr. Baptiste also.
All right. There, Brian?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you tell me your name, sir?
Travis Bryan.
Mr. Brian, you're here in 2021 MM 2184AO on charge of trespass after warning, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. I did have a chance to look him up. His probation is out of Orange County, but I didn't see a case number.
1 second, Your Honor. Um,
19 CF 16128.
16128. All right, sir, I want to stay your bonds in this case in the amount of $500 on each count. Condition your bond, not allowed to return to the scene, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're out on probation in 2019, CF 1628AO. The court, based on your new law arrest, is going to find an on-view violation of your probation. I'm going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $0. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case and get you on to your division judge so you can talk to them about your appropriate bond conditions.
What did you say about the probation and the zero bond?
Yes, sir.
So is a violation on the
Yes, your new law arrest is going to violate your probation. So I violated your probation based on my review of the case, and you're going to get in front of the judge, which will be Judge Lattimore soon in a few days, and for your VOP arraignment. All right? Have a great day. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Joshua Dessou.
Mr. Dessou, you're here in 2021 MM2181AO on a charge of battery. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. It's a condition of your pretrial release that you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case. You may not return to the scene of this location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Actually, I'll change that to maintain separate residences. I'll give them a 24-hour return. You got one time to return with law enforcement to retrieve any of your items that you have at the house, all right?
I'm sorry, can you
You go back to the house one time with law enforcement. So, with law enforcement. Don't bond out, don't leave here and then go straight over there.
Okay.
Because you're going to be arrested.
Okay.
So, you got to maintain a separate residence. Go over there, call law enforcement, follow the procedure that PCR is going to talk to you about so you can get your stuff. But just don't go there because you're going to be arrested, all right?
Okay.
Don't violate my orders. You have a great day.
Yes, sir, you too.
Do not return.
Yeah, I'm scratching do not return, say maintain separate residences and 24-hour, not 24 hours, but one-time return. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell me your name?
Brandon Michael Henry.
Mr. Henry, you're here in 2021 MM 638AE on charge of disorderly conduct. I reviewed the charging affidavit in that case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Did you make an offer to Mr. Henry?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I believe there's other charges that may be filed.
Okay. And was he already seen on his out-of-county case? I don't have any information.
This is a recommitment to Bosman, just wanted to come off the ball and out of Lake County.
Okay. All right. All right, sir, we're going to stay your bond in this case amount $250. Condition of your bond and not allowed to return to the scene of the location. No contact with any victims or witnesses. All right, have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Johnny McGee.
Mr. McGee, you're here in 2021 MM 2189AO, and also in 2021 MM 2190AO on charges of trespass on property after warning and resisting officer without violence. Just the one. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Did you make an offer to resolve both or one of his cases?
Yes, Your Honor, withhold credit time served, no return to, was it Royal Inn?
Okay. And did you doing for that for both cases?
Yes, for the trespass and the resisting.
Mr. McGee, did you want to resolve both cases?
Your Honor, we would ask that you release him on ROR today on both charges.
Well, questions are, did you want to resolve the case?
No, he does not, Your Honor. I spoke with him
Okay.
before coming in here.
All right, Mr. McGee, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance as to both cases. Condition of your release, you're not allowed to return to the scene of this location. You need to make all your court dates.
Sir.
All right? You also need to keep in contact with your attorney. Cannot have any contact with any victims or witnesses, all right?
Yes, sir.
As long as you're able to do that and stay out of trouble, you'll be able to stay out on release. Have a great day. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Michael Lee Montgomery.
Mr. Montgomery, you're here in 2021 MM2193AO on a charge of soliciting without a permit and resisting officer without violence. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Say that you have an offer to resolve these cases and the county ordinance violation case.
In regards to the soliciting and the resisting, the offer is an adjudication, credit time served. And in regards to the mobile vending without a permit, it is the withhold
Credit time
costs filing fee.
All right. All right, Mr. Montgomery, you have the case you were arrested on the other day, which was soliciting without a permit and resisting officer without violence. You have another case in 2021 CO 236AO for, I guess something about a vending machine or something, operating a vending machine without a permit.
Your Honor,
sort.
it says another soliciting funds.
Oh, so I guess it's another soliciting, I apologize.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
have a county ordinance violation for soliciting that you're arrested on. It came from, I don't have any information on when that happened. It was a notice to appear that you received.
Your Honor, he understands. He wants to resolve them.
All right, Mr. Montgomery, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir. All right, sir, you're here in 2021 MM2193 on solicitation without a permit. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. You're also being charged with resisting officer without violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're also here in 2021 CO 236AO for a violation of, for solicitation of without a permit. As a second-degree misdemeanor, it's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve all three charges?
It'll be no contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to be waiving all the rights on the plea form that you are have in front of you. You understand, waiving all your rights on the plea form?
Yes, sir.
Have you read the plea form? Do you understand? Are you waiving your rights on the plea form?
You got to tell him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I did have opportunity to review the charging affidavit in 2021 MM2193. Did find a factual basis for your plea. I did review 2021 CO 236AO, the notice to appear, found a factual basis for your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest in both cases. I'm going to, in 2021, MM 2193, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty as to both charges. I'm going to give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court calls the cost of prosecution in a case of $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You got 2021 CO 236 AO. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. You don't have any credit time served in that case. I'm going to impose the $223 and $10 filing fee. I make those costs due to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing in each case. I'm not going to take any action in your 2020 CF 15254 AO case. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Striker.
Mr. Mullins, you're here in 2021 MM 2188 AO for violation of county ordinance and possession of drug paraphernalia. I review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. State, were you making an offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, credit time served.
Mr. Mullins, did you want to accept the adjudication of guilt, credit time, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2021 MM 2188 AO for violation of county ordinance as a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. You're also here for possession of drug paraphernalia as a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to hear pleas of guilty or no contest to resolve this case?
Are you dropping the?
Your Honor, the adjudication would just be for the county ordinance. I'm filing a no information right now. It's the paraphernalia.
Say it again.
For the possession of drug paraphernalia, she's
You-
filing no information.
All right, so he's only pleading to the county ordinance violation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you say you want to plead no contest to the county ordinance violation? Is your opportunity to review all the rights that you're giving up on the plea form in front of you? All right, sir, I had the opportunity to review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis for your plea. I accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge, give you credit for 2 days in the county jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs in that case of $223. I will give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing. And you're filing no information as to the resisting charge, right?
Yes, Your Honor. 1 second and I'll approach the clerk with the information. Permission to approach the clerk?
Yeah? All right, Mr. Russell. Yeah, this for It's funky. It's funky when we do that here. It's,
I'm just trying to make
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Sorry, tell me your name.
Ollie Russell.
Mr. Russell, you're here in 2021 MM 2176 AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause probable cause for your arrest. State, was that an offer that you conveyed to Mr. Russell?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication, credit time served.
Your Honor, we would ask that you set a bond in this case. He has competency issues.
Okay. I'm going to release Mr. Russell on mental health pretrial release in this case. If he does not qualify, I'm going to set his bond in the amount of $250, condition not return to the scene.
You're letting me go?
You gotta talk to the people, you gotta get reviewed. You gotta go through qualifications for mental health pretrial release first, and then we'll talk about whether you can be released or not.
You're letting me go?
I'm not taking any action, not today.
I thought you just said that. You had just said that.
I'll release you on mental health pretrial release, so you gotta go through qualifications first. I'm not gonna take any action in 2021 MM 1663 AO.
Linda Smith is mental health. Okay.
I had Walker.
Walter.
Yeah.
Bonded.
Was released, no info?
Yes. May I have first reports, Your Honor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Always do that.
I'm hoping that was filed before she was released.
I filed it, that's why she.
Oh, you already filed it. You just want a copy. Oh, no, I don't need, if you already filed it, it's in its court file. I don't need a copy. Okay. So I was hoping that she was released before. I hope you filed that before she was released. If we just weren't this. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Gregory Andrews.
Mr. Andrews, you're here in 2020 MM 3930 AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signed your failure to appear warrant, set your bond amount of $500. You're also here in 2021 MO 378 AO on charge of open container as a city ordinance violation, and I found probable cause for your arrest. I believe the offer from the city is a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs if you want to resolve that case today. And I want to know if the state had an offer for the trespass case that he's, for the failure to appear.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer for the trespass is an adjudication, correct time served, no return to 2701 East Colonial, and cost of investigation to Orlando Police Department in the amount of $75.24.
24?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Andrews, do you want to resolve both of your cases today?
Is it like time service?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2020 MM 3930 AO on charge of trespass on property other than a structure of conveyance. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that? You gotta answer me out loud.
Yes.
All right. And you're also here in 2021 MO 378 AO on charge of open container. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve the cases in front of me today?
No contest.
No contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to be waiving all the rights that are listed out in that plea form that you're looking at right now.
Yes.
All right, sir, in 2020 MM 3930 AO, I did have an opportunity to review the charging affidavit in that case while I was in chambers this morning. I do find a factual basis for your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty as to that charge. You be credit for the 2 days that you spent, well, how many days, sorry? 7 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 7 days credit time served. The court costs in that case are and cost of prosecution are $273. There's a cost of investigation of $75.24 to the Orlando Police Department. In 2021 MO 378 AO, I did review that charging affidavit, did find a factual basis for your plea, going to accept your plea of no contest, going to withhold adjudication of guilt, give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs in that case are $223. We're going to combine these two cases for costs. You need 2 years from today's date to pay this money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing.
What was the amount to OP?
$75.24.
Good morning, Mr. Bain.
Morning, sir. Well, good afternoon now. Can you tell me your name?
Desmonte Adams.
Mr. Adams, you're here in 2020 CF 14379 AO on a charge of grand theft with damage of $1,000 or more and burglary of a structure. The judge signed your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to say your bonds in this case amount of $5,000 and $2,500. Not allowed to return to the scene of the incident. Not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from that case.
Excuse me, is this a new charge?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's not VOP?
We're going to talk to you about your VOP in a second here. But you have the charge on your violation of probation was the ag assault with a firearm charge. This is another charge that came up. I'm not sure if it happened before or after you're on probation. So I think you started probation, it says, usually tells me, but it doesn't.
I can find out, Your Honor.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, I want to point the public defender to represent him. In 2019, CF 17103 AO, there was an on-view violation probation filed on you on that case. And the court's going to hold you at no bond as to that charge. Based on that, based on the charges in that violation of probation, you're considered what's called a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not going to be entitled to release on your violation of probation until your case is resolved.
Which case? The
Until
aggravated.
your violation of probation is resolved.
I got 2 violations?
Right, well, they haven't added the burglary and the grand theft.
All right,
The
so
only new charge on your current violation affidavit is the aggravated assault with a firearm charge. Because of the aggravated assault with a firearm charge, that's what qualifies you as a violent felony offender of special concern. Now, if you resolve the violation of probation, you'd be eligible for release, but you have to go through the hearing and the danger hearing before that happens. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you, and you can talk to Judge Lattimore about that.
I have a lawyer.
You have a lawyer? Who's your lawyer?
I get it. I thought I had a court date tomorrow. That's why I didn't have nobody. My lawyer didn't come today. I paid him today.
George Gabolt?
You get a message from him? Did you hire him on all your cases or just one?
I just hired him on this case.
On the violation?
No, on my assault with a firearm.
All right, so we're not here on the assault with a firearm case. I'm
here for
addressing your violation of probation. I'm addressing the grand theft and the burglary case.
All right, when my next court date?
Madam Clerk may be able to tell you, or the public defender's office. I don't have that information right here. But yes, ma'am.
You did on-view or you have an affidavit?
There's an affidavit that I saw in the court file in 2019 CF 17103 AO. I couldn't print it. It was on when I looked at it.
Oh, okay, so you're doing it on?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I figured I'm gonna see him tomorrow, huh? I'm not doing an extra on view. There was an affidavit for on view violation filed in his court file yesterday. In 2019 CF, whatever that case was. I reviewed it while I was in chambers this morning. So I'm just doing the on view now versus bringing him back. We're probably gonna be on the docket tomorrow for just me to tell him that his probation is violated and he can't leave.
Your Honor, I have a copy of that on view if you would like me to print it for anybody.
Yeah, if you can print it, because you can print it, just make it part of our file here.
If it's in the clerk system, it's
Yes.
there, but we haven't received anything official on this. So if you want us to do the on-view, we're gonna type court minutes, like on-view, state line 9. That's what you
Whatever,
want us to do.
as long as nobody's calling me tomorrow. Because on the affidavit in there, it lists the aggravated assault charge. And then like underneath that was an affidavit for on-view violation from the law enforcement, from the probation officer, I think. And I can tell. Yes. It was her yesterday? It was a court. Yes. It was her yesterday? I heard this yesterday? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Judge Gibson, I apologize. So I guess we don't need to do anything. Because I didn't see this I didn't see the court minute. Yeah. I didn't see the court minute, I apologize. All right, so I'm not taking the action on your violation of probation. I guess Judge Gibson already talked to you about that yesterday.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
All right, so Judge Gibson talked to you about that yesterday. I just want to make sure that you weren't being released, because then some judge is going to have you arrested right after that. All right, have a great day. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Yoash Errol.
Say your last name again?
Errol, sir.
Mr. Errol, you're here in 2020 CF 13890AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signed that warrant, set your bond at $0. You're also here in 2021 CF 3244AO for charges of burglary of a structure in 3 counts and petty theft in 2 counts. Going to set your bonds in that case, an amount of $1,000 on each count. In addition to that bond, you not return to the scene of the location, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're also here in 2021 CF 3655AO on charge of battery and burglary with assault or battery therein. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. Say what you asked me to do as to count 2 of that warrant.
Ask count 2, the state's asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Sorry, that's the affidavit, I apologize.
Your Honor, we have no argument, reserve the right to have an argument.
All right. Sir, I did review the charging affidavit in that case. I found probable cause for your arrest. In count 1, that case, I'm going to set your bond amount of $5,000. Count 2, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to that case, that charge. No return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And we'll get you on to your division judge.
You raised the bond to
Yes, ma'am.
1,000 on the
Correct.
first.
Can you tell me your name, sir? Can you tell me your name?
Oh, Jarvis Mike.
Mr. Akins, you're here in 2020 CF 14023AO on charges of grand theft, motor vehicle, flee, and attempt to elude law enforcement license sirens, criminal mischief, and petty theft.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. The judge signed your warrants, found probable cause for your arrest.
The blunt was in the.
Hold on. Don't talk.
Bull job. Yes, sir.
Let me do what I gotta do, and then you talk to Ms. George, because everything you tell me is on the record.
Yes, sir. I know it.
All right, sir, I want to stay your bonds in this case, amount of $5,000, $15,000, $500, and $500. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. Condition your bond not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses in that case. You have a great day, sir.
Alberts, Stephen, his behavior.
Will's calls attorney. I got messed up out for a second. Yeah.
We'll call him come back in.
Yeah, we'll call him.
Okay.
I need mine. I want to pick up the kids.
don't mind. Yeah.
Did you transfer him over? Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you put your name on the record?
My name is Eric Barker.
Mr. Broker, is it Baker or Broker?
It's Barker.
Barker, Mr. Barker. Mr. Albers has declined to join us this afternoon. So I don't know if you wanted you wanted to waive his appearance, or did you want to come out here
I'll waive his
tomorrow and
appearance.
see if, say again?
I'll waive his appearance.
All right, and he's here, supposed to be here in 2021, CF 3657 AO, on charge of possession of a prescription drug without a prescription, possession of drug paraphernalia, driver license suspended, possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver, and possession of cannabis. Let's see. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for his arrest. As to those charges, I'm going to set his bond in count one in the amount of $2,000. I want to stay his other bonds amount of $150, $100, $100, and $100. Condition of his bonds: not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at his expense. I give him 30 days before the first narcotics test happens from today's date. He was out on bond in 2020, CF 15144 AO. In that case, the court's going to revoke that bond. We're going to set a new bond at $0. We're going to allow Mr. Barker to get in front of the appropriate division judge and see if there's any appropriate release conditions that that judge feels that he can be out on. Did you have anything else, Mr. Barker, you wanted to address with the court?
So the reason why I asked to be a part of this is so I could ask the court to not revoke his bond or to set a new bond based on the severity of the all arrest, so him to remain at liberty so we can work on his cases. I would note that a firearm alleged to have been found in the fall arrest.
All right. Based on the criminal history and I'm looking at on his phase sheet, I don't think that's the appropriate action at this moment, but you can get in front of the division judges. They are doing bond hearings regularly, so you'll have that conversation with them. All right. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
Tell me your name, sir. Mr. Allen, you're here in 2021 CF 2374 AO on a charge of fleeing, attempt to elude law enforcement with lights and sirens. Driver on license suspended as a second or subsequent offense. You're also arrested in 2021 CF 36664 AO on charges of driver license suspended as a third or subsequent offense. There's probable cause for the charges in this case. As to the fleeing and eluding count, I'm going to set your bond amount of $10,000. I'm going to stay your bond as to, I think it was 500. I'll stay your bond in the amount of $1,000 as to the driver license suspended count. As to 3664, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $2,500.
Your Honor, in regards to the fleeing and attempting to elude, you said 10,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I thought you said 2.
No, $10,000. You're out on bond in 2021 CF 2013 CT 12094 AO for DUI. We're going to revoke that bond, set a new bond at $0. You're also out in 2019 CF 15621 BO. We'll revoke those bonds, set those bonds at $0. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, because the 2019, his out on bond is from 2019, would you be willing to revoke and set a higher bond?
Not at this time. He can talk to the division judges about appropriate release conditions. Because he seems to come and go. We deal with cases whenever he feels like it, so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
My name is Krishan Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, you're here in 2021 CF 1284AO on charge of selling and delivery of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. The court did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause. Sorry, this is a warrant. Wait a second. Sorry, the judge signed your warrant, has already reviewed that warrant and found probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count one amount of $15,000, count two an amount of $150. Condition of the bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You have a great day, sir. I raised the bond and lowered the other bond. $15,150. Oh, yeah. That bond amount was not even on the bond schedule. All right, sir, can you tell me your name?
Torrin Burke.
Mr. Burke, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CF 3650AO on charge of grand theft motor vehicle. You're also here in 2021 CF 3684AO on charge of possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell and deliver, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the charging affidavit in both cases, did find probable cause for your arrest as to both cases. We're going to stay your bond in the 2021 CF 3650AO case, the amount of $1,000, condition your bond, you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses. Not allowed, sorry. And then 2021 CF 3684AO, in count one, will set your bond amount of $15,000. Count two, going to set it at $1,000. Count three, going to set your bond in amount of $150. Condition of those bonds that you're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're out on bond in 2018 CF 17098AO. Going to revoke that bond. Going to set a new bond in that case in amount of $5,000 on each count. Condition of the bond that you not have possessed any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Appointed public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. There's two counts. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me your name?
William Diaz Morales.
Mr. Diaz, you're here in two matters. The first case is 2020 CF 13058AO. You're here on the charge of possession of fentanyl. You're also here in 2021 CF 3651 for carrying a concealed weapon as a convicted felon. Did I take that back? Sorry. You're only here. Sorry, I meant to make that note. So you're only here on 2021 CF 3651AO for charge of carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. The judge signed your warrant, found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to strike the PTR on that warrant. I'm going to set your bond amount of $4,000. Condition the bond, not allowed possessing weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
David Hill.
Mr. Hill, you're here in 2021 CF 3510AO on charge of burglary of a dwelling. The judge signed your warrant, found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond, they want to stay your bond amount of $5,000. Condition your bond not allowed to return to the scene. May not have any contact with any victims or witnesses. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have a great day, sir. I'm sorry, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and you have a great day. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Frederick Howard.
Mr. Howard, you're here in 2021 CF 3667 AO on a charge of possession of methamphetamine. Did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in this case amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond is not possessing drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And you have 48 hours from the time you are released to report to the sheriff's office as a sex offender or a violent sexual predator. One second. Are you even held for the 5 days? No, that's what I thought. All right, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Tony Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins, you're here in 2020 CF 1749 AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing your warrant set your bond at $0. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. I'm not going to take any action on your 2021 MM 1413 AO case, because I don't think that was filed yet, correct?
It hasn't been, Your Honor.
That's not?
No.
So, have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Chairman Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're here in 2021 CF 3647 AO on charge of burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause. They set your bond amount of $10,000 as account one and amount of $100 as account two. Condition of your bond, you not have any contact with any victims or witnesses, that you do not return to the scene of the location, not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any weapons of, not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. One thing. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Anthony Jones, sir.
Mr. Jones, you're here in 2021 CF 3632 AO for a possession of possession of MDMA or ecstasy with intent to sell and deliver, fleeing attempt to elude law enforcement, and resisting an officer without violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to stay your bond in count one amount of $15,000. Count two, I'm going to set your bond amount of $2,500. And I want to stay your bond in count three, an amount of $500. Condition of your bond is not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
I ain't made to advocate that $15,000 bond, sir.
Right. Well, you can get it from your division judge, and you have a full bond hearing. You can testify about what means you have and all those kind of things like that, what means you can get from other people. That's not going to happen at the bond hearing. It's not going to happen today. So you can talk to your public defender and make that happen. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Damien.
Is your first name Damien or your last name?
First name.
Okay. And then is it Lake Count or Lake Colt?
No, that's my name.
What's your last name?
First name is Damien.
What's your last name?
Count.
No. Lake Count? I want to make sure I'm saying it right because you're saying it really fast because I can't hear.
Count.
All right. Sir, you're here in 2021 CF 3659AO on charges of robbery, grand theft motor vehicle, and burglary of conveyance. Did have an opportunity to review the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $3,000, count 2 in the amount of $1,000, count 3 in the amount of, I'll state that bond amount of $150. Condition of the bond, not having contact with any victims or witnesses, not return to the scene of the location. May not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. State, do you have an offer as to the 2021 MM7603AO case he's out on?
Yes, Your Honor, it's adjudication credit time served.
All right, Mr. Lako, if you want to resolve the offer, the other case you have, the misdemeanor case, you can do that today with an adjudication of guilt credit time served.
I'm gonna retain a lawyer on both cases.
Okay. So you don't want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
No, I'm gonna
All right.
gonna hire him on.
Well, you're out on bond in 2020 MM7603AO. The court's going to revoke that bond. They're going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. You have an out-of-county warrant from Pinellas County. The judge in Pinellas County set your bond in that case in the amount of $513. Get on to Pinellas. We want you to resolve your Orange County cases. You can go on to Pinellas County and deal with that case.
Sir, the case for my first bond, that was a civil matter. I have to see the victim or whatever because it's,
what are you talking about? What case? What civil matter are you referring to?
Did you
Every case I talked to you about was a criminal case.
right. Did you read the police report?
That was a criminal matter. That's why you were arrested and why you're here today.
That's what I'm saying. The situation was a civil matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to get in contact with them because of the civil issue. You see what I'm saying? I don't want them to come back on me later on.
Well, you're not going to have any contact with her right now.
So what do I
So
do?
you're gonna have to, you say you're gonna hire a lawyer, so let your lawyer do their job. But if you have contact with the victim in this case, you're gonna be sitting here with me. It's gonna be, well, he can stay, they'll stay until the other attorney files a notice of appearance.
What's that?
You already had the public defender on your 2020 misdemeanor case. So the public defender is gonna stay on that case until your attorney withdraws from your attorney files a notice of appearance and then they'll withdraw.
So am I on hold or what's going on here?
No, you have bonds on all your charges, so you can bond out.
The bond out right now?
Your Honor,
Oh, sorry, I forgot, I'm sorry.
You revoke the,
I was thinking about the new cases. You have bonds on all your new cases.
I don't.
As to your old case, the 2020 case, I did revoke that bond. I got a thing. You paid the bond on that? Okay. I'm trying to address what's given to me so that nobody can come back and say I did something that wasn't there. Yes, ma'am.
He didn't quite understand what was going on. He stated that he would like to resolve his, I think it's driving while
You told me you wanted a lawyer, so.
we're already appointed. He said that he didn't understand what you were saying. He wanted to resolve those cases. And then, I would ask that until he gets a private attorney that you appoint us on the robbery, grand theft, and burglary of a conveyance.
Well, do you want me to appoint the public defender on the robbery, the new law case?
Yes,
You
sir.
told me no before, so you want, it's yes now.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm putting, So in the robbery case, he wants a public defender. And now he wants to resolve the misdemeanor case that he told me he didn't want to resolve.
Correct, Your Honor. He didn't understand what was going on.
So give me that case number again, 2020 MM. You just give me the yellow sheet. Yeah.
7603.
All right. All right, sir, raise your right hand and be sworn in. Raise your right hand and be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Your Honor, never mind. Could you please leave it because he signed it and then he said under duress, so I would prefer that you not allow him to take the offer at this time.
All right.
Your Honor, I also have notes that when he was in court on the 23rd, they tried to go through a Feretta hearing with him. And he's been saying he's been trying to get his own attorney, so I would also recommend we don't do anything on this at this time.
It sounds like all good reasons not to take any action. So my order is going to stay as is, other than I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him in the 2021 CF 3659 case until he can get counsel.
So exactly what's going on right now?
As to the 2021 CF 3659 case, I set bonds in that case. You're not allowed to return to the scene of the location. Not allowed to have any contact with the victim in that case. Not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Ms. Page has informed me for the Pinellas case that you already paid the bond on that case. So that's not an issue. As 2020 MM 7603 AO, I want to revoke that bond based on the new law arrest in this case and probable cause being found and setting that bond at $0. You're already appointed the public defender in that case. So we can get you on to talk to, I think I saw Judge Jewett. Who was this judge?
In the underlying case,
Yeah,
it
Ready
is
to resolve my case right now. So, I mean,
I'm not going to resolve your case, sir, because for various reasons. You told me the first time you didn't want to resolve the case. Then you came back and did say you wanted to resolve the case, and now you're saying that you're under some kind of threat or duress. So part of in the resolving your case, you have to do it freely and voluntarily.
I don't have anybody here explaining to me the process. That's why.
Well, Ms. George was just explaining it to you. I gave you lots of time that I could be talking to the gentleman that's behind you, and he's waiting for us to talk to me. And you had plenty of time to talk to her just now and before. So right now, I'll give you lots of time to talk to her, because you're going to be talking to me. You're going to be staying here with me, and you have all the time to call that number on that green sheet of paper and talk to everybody about every little detail about what you want to talk to them about. All right. Have a great day, sir.
So I can't bond out right now.
Not today.
when they held the Feretta hearing, he was also held in contempt at that time.
Hey. I can't. You can lead a horse to the water. All right, sir, can you tell me your name?
Lucas Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, you're here in 2021 CF 3666 AO on a charge of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed your charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause, sorry, this is a warrant. I'll do probable cause for your arrest. And PTR, he doesn't qualify because we couldn't get in contact with whoever his emergency contact person was. All right, Mr. Lopez, if I release you on pretrial release in this case, where are you going to be staying?
My wife's house. She's 9 months pregnant. I live with her.
All right, are you guys legally married or this is your girlfriend?
It's my fiance. We're getting married.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And can you give us the address of that location?
4267 East Michigan Street, Orlando, Florida.
All right, and what is her name?
Karen Quinones.
All right, where does she work?
She works, she's a PCNA downtown Orlando. She does the nurse. She's a nurse assistant.
All right, where, at Orlando Health?
I don't know the name of the building, but it's one of the big buildings downtown.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And would you ever provide?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Where is she right now? Is she at work right now?
No, today's her day off. She's home.
All right. Was she at work last night?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Page, that's enough information, or? Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez, I'm going to release you on PTRL release on this case. I'm going to make a condition of pretrial release, not possessing any drugs and alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'll give you 30 days before the first narcotics test begins. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. One question, so I'll be able to bond out?
I'm putting you on straight pretrial release. So as long as you go abide by their conditions, they're going to meet with you in a few minutes. As long as you abide by the conditions, you should be able to be okay. No drugs, no alcohol. All right, you'll be drug tested.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Jesus Antonio Marquez Jr.
Mr. Marquez, you're here in 2021 CF 3653AO on charge of attempted burglary of conveyance. They reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for your arrest. Will stay your bond, in this case, amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond, cannot return to the scene of the location. No contact with any victims or witnesses. No weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You were just here a few days ago in 2021 CF 1009AO. In that case, I'm going to revoke that bond in that case. I'm going to set a new bond at $0. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Joffrey McCoy.
I can't say it again.
Joffrey McCoy.
Mr. McCoy, you're here in 2021 CF 36585, AO, on 3 charges. The first one is kidnapping. The second one is kidnapping a child under the age of 13 years old. And the third charge is a interference with a custody of a minor. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause as to your arrest. State, what do you ask me to do is to counts 1 and 2.
As to count 1 and 2, state asks that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. And Ms. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you, Mr. McCoy. Ms. George, do you have a response to the state's request?
No, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have Arthur hearing.
All right, Mr. McCoy, as to counts 1 and 2, going to say you're at no bond, and that's that charge. As to count 3, you're going to set your bond amount of $5,000. Condition of your bonds while you're here at the jail and when you are released, that you have no contact with the victim, no contact with any witnesses. You must not return to the victim's residence. No weapons, no firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. We can get you on to your division judge so you can have an appropriate Arthur hearing, and they can discuss about what appropriate release conditions they feel comfortable with. All right, have a great day, sir. All right, gonna slide over a little bit this way. There we go. Hey, tell me your name, sir.
My name is Ronald Morris.
Mr. Morris, you're here in 2021 CF 3686AO. You're arrested for a charge of a DUI with serious bodily injury. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I want to ask the state, do you have any information as to the victim's injuries?
I do not.
1 second, Your Honor.
So I want to find probable cause for DUI, but in the 4 corners of the affidavit, nobody talked to me about what exactly happened to anybody who was injured during the course of this crime.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't see anything within the 4 corners of the affidavit. Can we have a 24-hour reset?
All right, I'll give you a 24-hour reset, and we're going to stay the bonds that's set until that time, or determine whether there's probable cause for the serious bodily injury charge. Addition of his bond, if he does bond out before then, he's not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. He's subject to random drug and alcohol testing. No operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All right, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. We'll see you tomorrow if you don't bond out, to see if there is probable cause for the serious bodily injury part of the charge you're facing. I'll be here in the morning, so this 10 a.m. All right, have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Victor Perez Vargas.
right. Mr. Perez, you're here in 2021 CF 3669 AO in two charges. The first one is possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. You're also here in 2021 CF 3668 AO on the charge of driving on license suspended as a habitual traffic offender and no motor vehicle registration. I reviewed the charging affidavits. In this case, I did find probable causes for your arrest as to all four charges. I want to state your bonds as set in the amount of $1,000, 100, 2,500, and 100. Additionally, your bonds do not possessing any drugs, alcohol without valid prescription. That you do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Delvin Demetrius Pryor.
There you go. And is it Pryor?
Pryor.
Pryor, Mr. Pryor. All right, Mr. Pryor, you're here for two charges. The first one is 2021 CF 3603 AO. You're arrested on a charge of grand theft. The judge signed your warrant. He's already found probable cause for your arrest. You're going to stay your bond amount of $1,500. Condition that you not return to the scene of the location, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons, no firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're also here in 2021 CF 3601 AO on another charge of grand theft. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest when they signed the warrant. They're going to stay your bond amount of $1,500 with the same conditions as the other case. No contact with the victim, no return to the scene. You're not possessing weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in these two cases. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir? Your name.
Miguel Rios.
Mr. Reyes, you're here in 2021 CF 3660 AO on a charge of selling delivery of cannabis without consideration. You reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. Condition of your bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Not allowed to return to the scene of the location. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Yes, ma'am. $250. All right. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Michael Sintron Rodriguez.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in 2021 CF 3625 AO on a charge of trafficking a controlled substance of 4 grams or more. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for possession of alprazolam, but there's no trafficking designation for that drug, as far as I know.
For Xanax, Your Honor?
For Xanax, nope.
1 second.
It's a controlled C drug, if I remember correctly. I reviewed the statute this morning to see if they changed it, like Ms. George pointed out to me the other day. But that's not a change I saw.
Your Honor, we would just ask that you find PC as to the possession, but set a higher bond than due to the amount.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, the court found probable cause of possession of alprazolam in this case. I'm going to set your bond in that case an amount of $1,500. Condition of the bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I don't on bond in 2021, CF 68AO. In that case, of course, going to revoke that bond. I'm going to set new bonds in that case, amount of $5,000 on each count. Condition of that bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. If you having some issues with narcotics, there are people here at downtown. They can help you with that in other places in the community. But you need to get that under control. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of time seeing me for the next couple of years of your life. For possession, what is it, 893.13 sub 6 sub A? If I remember correctly?
Yes. 893.13. One second.
Got 1, 3.
It would be 893.136A. Who's all Brazilian?
I thought it was. I definitely wrote it enough. Sorry, we're like writing your spelling words. Hello, ma'am. Can you tell me, what happened to Mr. Simmons?
You have inmate number now?
I had Joshua Simmons next.
Inmate number's 21007527.
Did I give you 2 or something? Did I give you 2 people by accident? All right. Oh, I had Joshua Simmons. Okay. And then I don't have, ma'am, what's your name?
Hannah Sears.
Miss Siri. I have Simmons, Wilson, Brian, Ramos. All right.
Ms. Sears is here on the board.
I haven't reviewed it yet, so Ms. Sears, Ms. Sears, can you hold for a second? Let me get Mr. Simmons up here. And that needs Sears. I don't have Sears. If you have an extra face sheet, that'd be great. For Sears. Yes. All right. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Joshua Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, you're here in 2021, CF 3628AO, on possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500 as account 1, $500 as account 2, and $500 as account 3. Condition of bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. You are out on bond in pretrial intervention in 2020 CF 2698AO. Of course, going to revoke that bond. Going to set a new bond at $0. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in both cases. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Tina Wilson.
Ms. Wilson, you're here in 2020 CF 10860AO on the charges of accessory to robbery with a firearm and battery. The judge signing your warrant has already found probable cause for your arrest. Not sure why you didn't have a bond. That's count 1. But all right. I'm going to set your bond at count 1, amount of $2,500. And I'm going to stay your bond in count 2, amount of $1,000. Addition of the bond, you have no contact with any victims or witnesses. That you're not possessing weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to return to the scene of this crime. You're not allowed to have any contact with any co-defendants or possible people involved in the robbery with a firearm. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. You have a great day, ma'am. Yeah, the charging affidavit for serious.
Yes.
All right, sir, tell me your name.
Andrew Bryant Jr.
Mr. Bryant, you're here in 2020 CF 146090000AO on a violation of probation. The judge signing your warrant in this case. Set your bond at 0. Your bond remain at 0. Sir, you is considered a violent felony offender of special concern, and you are not entitled to release on this case until your violation of probation is completed. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Jonathan Anthony Ramos.
Mr. Ramos, you're here in 2021 MM2185AO on charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. You're also here in 2020 CF1475AO on charges of violation of probation. As to the drug paraphernalia charge, the court did review the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. States one of you taking any action on right now?
As of right now, I'm not gonna know info it due to the underlying basis of the BOP.
Okay. All right, sir, in that case, I'm gonna say your bond in an amount of $500. Condition your bond, not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. As to your violation of probation, the on view that was filed, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to that. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case, in all your cases, so you can get you in front of the judges to see if you can get out. You have a great day, sir. I reviewed this. This is stuck somewhere. Let's try. I got the charges. Said Campbell is mental health. All right. I want to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Campbell.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
Mr. Campbell's supposed to be here on an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County. The bond in that case is $263. I was going to stay that, and hope we can get him on to Seminole County as soon as possible. Tell me your name, sir.
State your name.
Danny Charles Hawkins Jr.
Mr. Hawkins, you're here in a 2013, looks like, felony case from Seminole County for a violation of probation. The judge signed your warrant from Seminole County, set your bond at 0. You're what is also considered to be a violent felony offender of special concern. You won't be entitled to release on this case until your violation of probation is completed.
I'm not a violent felon.
So, yeah?
You said I was a violent felon? I'm not a violent felon. This is the only charge I've ever had.
Let's see. Somebody put a designation on my paper. I didn't have a chance to look you up.
Hold on, Your Honor, I'll look at his history.
I've never been a violent felon, sir.
I know you're on probation for dealing, which wouldn't qualify you, but I don't know if you have anything in your past that would make that.
That's the only charge I've ever had.
Your Honor, he had a burg dwelling and a grand theft that was no build.
Charges were dropped on that. It was a false identification.
These things aren't always right. I just want to tell people so they don't they're like, I want to get out. I want you to have a high expectation when it's not going to happen.
Hold on, Your Honor, I'm checking CCIS.
Well, we'll get you on to Seminole County. They can figure it out, but they can talk to your judge when you get there. They usually pick up like every week, so you should be there pretty quickly.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Sir.
All right, can you tell me your name, sir?
Sir?
Can you tell me your name?
Kevin Reed, sir.
Mr. Reed, you're here from a felony case from Miami-Dade County for a violation of probation.
Sir?
The judge there set your bond at $0. You're a violent felony offender of special concern, sir. You're not going to be entitled to release until your case is, your violation of probation is completed. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you while you're here in my custody. We'll hopefully get you down to Miami-Dade as soon as possible.
So, what's happening now, sir?
You don't have a bond. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you while you're here in my custody. Hopefully, we can get you down to Miami-Dade because you can't be released until you see your judge down there, okay? And you go through your hearing and you have a danger hearing, okay?
Okay, so, do you know how long I'll be here?
I have no idea. I think Miami-Dade's picking up. I think they are picking up, but I don't know how often. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Hannah Sears.
Ms. Sears, you're here in 2020 CF 13502 AO on charges of introduction of contraband to a detention facility, conspiracy to deliver methamphetamine, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. The court did review, the judge signing your warrant has already found probable cause for your arrest. Your bonds are $2,500 as the count one, $2,500 as the count two, and $1,000 as the count three. Additionally, your bond not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am. All right, does anybody have anything else for the better of the order?
Yeah, Your Honor. Yesterday, we had a reset.
Yes.
Because she refused, and we wanted to see if she would come to court. It was a misdemeanor pleable.
We did.
It wasn't called this morning. Ms. Hodges?
Did she bond out? Hodges?
First name is Melissa, last name is Hodges, Hodges. I also have an inmate number if that's easier. Okay. Thank you. All right, nothing else, Your Honor.
She here? She bonded? Yeah, so I said, did I answer the question? She ain't not here? All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
See y'all in the minute.
Before she get here.